Hello, my name is Mike and I am an alcoholic. My date of sobriety is January the 8th of 2012. So this year I celebrated 8 years of continuous sobriety. It's been 8 years that's really changed my life, that's made me a happier person professionally, personally, and financially. Because I was able to stop drinking, because I was able to be in recovery, I feel it's my duty to speak to people now, especially people in schools. Some of you are in high school, some of you are in middle school, to talk to you about addiction. My particular addiction was with alcohol. I know some of the speakers will talk about drug addiction, maybe illegal drugs or prescription drugs. That was very minor part of my story. Everything for me was centered around alcohol. I loved to drink. It was something I started doing when I was 14 years old, and I did fairly consistently from my teenage years all the way into my 40s until I got sober 8 years ago. I actually went into recovery in 2007, and I told you my sobriety date is 2012. So it took me 5 years of just lying to myself, lying to other people that, hey, I got this, I can take care of it, I can, learn to just have a few. One thing that you learn is that when you have an addiction, you can't just have a few. You can't have any. Once I started, I could not stop. Once I stopped, I could not stay stopped. So my upbringing might be different from what you would expect or what some of the other speakers will be telling you. I grew up in Montgomery County. I grew up in Rockville, North Bethesda, as my mom liked to say. I went to private schools from kindergarten all the way through college. I went to a very elitist, all-boy private school where everyone had money, everyone had access to their parents' cars, everyone had access to their parents' liquor cabinets because everyone's parents seemed to go away and didn't leave us with anyone. So there was the high school partying, and then there was being around my neighborhood friends. We were all the youngest child of large, wealthy families. One of my friends, youngest of 8, the other one youngest of 5, the other one youngest of 8. And that's what we did. We hung around each other. Now, was there something lacking in my life? I'm glad to say for myself, I never suffered from depression. I know a lot of people suffer from depression, and you should be so grateful that they talk about mental health issues in school. I did not have mental health issues of depression. However, there was always an undercurrent of anxiety in my life, of fear, of anxiety, of uncertainty. In fact, someone told me that anxiety is an allergy to being uncertain. What was I uncertain about? I was uncertain that I might not be good enough on a sports team. I might not be good enough in school. I might not be good enough for my place in life. I'm the youngest of 5 children. By the time I was around, my parents had a lot of money, and I was quite spoiled. I was a walking want. I wanted when I wanted, and I wanted it now. I was used to getting my way. So I was, in a lot of respects, a real self-absorbed jerk. And maybe for undercurrents of that, maybe feeling guilty about that, some of that Catholic guilt that I had, maybe just the way I was raised, and unintentionally my parents making me feel my self-worth wasn't good enough. I know this is something that a lot of people, a lot of you guys might be having in your life. If you're ever having that, it's always good to talk to someone, whether it's a teacher, a parent, a trusted relative, a friend. Because a lot of people, certainly a lot of the addicts that you'll be hearing from on video, and I'm sorry it's not in person, will be talking about feelings of self-worth. There's an expression that an alcoholic is an egomaniac with an inferiority complex. What's that mean? You're constantly obsessing about yourself. You're always thinking about yourself. What about me? How does everything revolve around me? So you're always thinking about yourself, but you have this inferiority complex where you don't value yourself. You don't have a healthy regard for who you are. Your self-confidence is low. But that's not how you act. You often act, and I did, very brash, very arrogant, very snotty. I grew up snotty, I grew up spoiled, grew up wealthy, so it was very easy for me. Country clubs and beach houses and Redskin season tickets and all of these things that I had, access to automobiles, etc. So I came across, in a lot of ways, very spoiled, obnoxious, rich kid. But I felt inside that there was something missing. So what does it have to do with alcohol? What does it have to do with you? Well, many of us share some of those feelings of guilt, anxiety, maybe depression that some people have. So what helped me? Well, the easiest thing was what helped me was alcohol. As I mentioned, I first started drinking in high school in 9th grade, but that was very intermittent. There wasn't a lot of access to it. I had an older brother, like all my friends had older brothers that were of age and able to buy for us. But that wasn't something that we did regularly. I would say when second semester junior year of high school, and certainly senior year of high school, when the drinking was consistently, it was on every weekend. I did not drink during the week. But that would certainly change as I ramped up and got into college. But in high school, I felt entitled that I should drink, and I felt there was nothing wrong with it. I didn't acknowledge at the time those feelings I was having of anxiety, guilt, not of the pressure of that day-to-day, the pressures that you guys feel with school, with friends, with social media, with sports teams. The pressures that you have, I didn't have social media then, but it was alleviated easily with alcohol. I drank, I changed the way I feel, and I feel good. And I'm fun to be around. I was fun to be around for myself. I'm sure I was a babbling, slurring, stumbling idiot a lot of the times. I would talk to girls from some of the sister schools. I would talk to some of the guys in the cool crowd. I was not in the cool crowd. I really could have cared less now if I was in the cool crowd. But that was what alcohol gave me, was that sense of self-worth. And when I would wake up the next day, with a hangover, thinking, what did I do? I would have the remorse, the horror, and the hopelessness of, oh gosh, what did I do? What did I say? And I'd have those feelings even worse of anxiety, of no self-worth, of low self-esteem. So what would I do? I would drink some more because that would help alleviate those feelings. So you see, this is part of the cycle of addiction that you're going to learn. And I will say that my life was partly a cyclone of annihilation. So the cycle of addiction, mine was a cyclone of annihilation. I was very slowly, very subtly, just killing myself from the inside. No one could see it, but it was there. As I progressed, into college, into graduate school, and meeting my wife in the mid to late 90s, she's not someone that drinks alcoholically. She'll have one drink and put it down. I would usually end up drinking the drink that she has. I would, luckily I'm still married to my lovely wife. We have 2 wonderful children. But I was, drinking alone a lot more. So, my friends and I, we started getting married, we started getting jobs. So I wouldn't miss work, but I would certainly drink alone at night. Why would I drink alone? I've got a good job, making good money. I've got a wife, I eventually had kids, but I'm drinking more. So I should be feeling happier, more self-esteem, more self-confident. I'm not. I'm actually drinking more. My life is ostensibly better, but no, I needed more and more alcohol to help control the increased feelings of irritability, of restlessness, of discontent that was in my life, that was controlling my life. And the only way that I knew how to deal with those emotions was continue to drink. And this through and through, I got in some trouble with the law. In 1992, I got arrested for drinking and driving in my mother's powder blue Cadillac while urinating by the car. A cop watched me pee by the car with my friend, get in the car, drive down from downtown Bethesda back into Rockville, arrested me a mile from my parents' house. My parents were away on a trip. I had to pick them up from the airport and tell them what happened to me. I also was involved in a series of accidents with other friends who got DWI. My one friend, in '94, we came back from a bar just drinking on a Thursday night. Probably had about 7 or 8 drinks each, and he decides, we're back in the neighborhood, he decides to gun it, going like 60 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone, loses control of the car, drives into a neighbor's car. He has, some injuries. I was wearing a seatbelt, fortunately, and I was okay. Had another friend where we were coming back from a bar downtown, and he drove right into a traffic circle. It's called Westmoreland Circle. That was another thing. We were lucky. None of us got caught or anything. The car managed serious damage. I'm so grateful for the things that did not happen to me that happened to so many people. The people that die, people that are paralyzed. I'm lucky that I still have my wonderful job. I still have a wonderful family. Part of the reasons I still have those is that I eventually did ask for help. It took me a long time to ask for help. My ego was so big, my pride was so large that I could not ask for help. Let me just give you one advice. Ask for help from somebody. If you feel these feelings of anxiety, ask it from a school counselor, from your parents, your uncle, your cousins, anyone that you can trust, because they will help. They can help you find the right person. There's lots of different ways people can go into recovery, and I was fortunate that I went in 2007, eventually got it in 2012, and have been sober since. But that is the main message, is that if you feel there's something that's wrong in your life, talk to someone, because addiction is very cunning. It's very baffling. It's very powerful. By the time you realize it is a problem, it has got a hold of you. It has got a grip, and you cannot escape it yourself. I fooled myself for years thinking, I got this. I got 2 master's degrees. I'm from a wealthy family. I'm smart. I'm better than you. I can handle this. You know what? I couldn't handle anything. I was no different than a homeless guy. I was no different than a billionaire. I was no different than you. I could not handle it, and that is what addiction does. So, thank you very much. I'm sorry, because of the social distancing, we have to do this remotely. Take care.